Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. It is February 24th, 2026. It's Tuesday, as M. Bison would say, from the Street Fighter movie. Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. Yesterday we had two really fun streams, and I'm expecting nothing less than that same type of fun today. Partially because we've got some really good news. Wolverine just got dated, and as you know, maybe, if you've been around here for a bit, that is one of my most anticipated games for 2026, and it's coming to us this September. Less than 7 full months to go. Let me get the pop-out chat rolling. And see who is here this fine morning. How is everyone's Monday? How's everyone's today so far? Anybody doing anything fun? I know the day's still young. Although on the East Coast, it's already almost 2 o'clock. In Central Time, it's almost 1. It's just here on the West Coast, is it only 10:50 a.m.? Although I guess if you're in Hawaii, it's even earlier. All right. Let's see. Who is here so far? We've got Enrique95 in the house saying hello, Paul. Hello, Enrique. Gabriel Perez 4996 saying hi, Paul. Hi, Gabriel. Welcome. Egomaniac 87 is here with a yo. Gabriel saying Tuesday. Yes, right, it's Tuesday. When you invaded my village in Bison and killed my father, it was the worst day of my life. For me, Chun-Li, it was a Tuesday. Something like that. The iconic line by Raul Julia as M. Bison in the early 1990s Street Fighter film. Funny. That has kind of outlived the movie itself in some ways, you know? That line, that has become a popular meme. For me, it was a Tuesday. Who here is excited for Wolverine? I think I'm going to put up a poll in the chat. Let's see. Are you excited for Wolverine this September? Yes, and I'll be buying it day 1. Yes, but I'll wait and see how it is. No, but only because it's on PS5, because some people might be interested in it, but if they don't have a PS5, then that kills the interest. No, because I don't like superheroes. No, because I just don't. No, because I just don't. All right, good enough. Let's see how this poll is. Let's see how these results turn out. We've got, are you excited for Wolverine this September? Yes, and I'll be buying it day 1. That's where I'm at. I'm buying that sucker day 1. Yes, but I'll wait and see. That's the, I like Insomniac Games' stuff. Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spidey 2. Good titles. But we'll see. I don't know if this Wolverine's going to be all that. So it's like a maybe, right? No, but only because it's on PS5. That's a I don't have a PS5, therefore I'm not interested in it. Because I don't have a PS5, or I just don't think this type of game should be, console exclusive because it's a well-known, established IP that's been around for 50 years or something like that. Like maybe that's you. Or no, because I just don't. And that's like, I don't like superhero stuff. Just don't like Wolverine. Not a Marvel kind of person. You like DC more. Or you just don't like rated M games or violent games or action games. Right? I'm seeing that could be broad. We'll see how this poll unfolds. I'm curious. Back to the chat though. Joycey J. Woo! Just in time for lunch break. Hey Paul, hey y'all, hey Joycey. Have a nice lunch. Lao Boys 411. Next state of play. Hit in summer. Possible we'll get Wolverine DualSense controller. Will be more detail. New game like Wolverine or Godslayer. A Wolverine controller, I could see that. Wolverine tearing through the controller with, 3 claw marks here or there. That could be fun. We'll see. Paladin saying good morning, Paul. Good morning, Paladin. Welcome. Nintex 2 Dope. A Paul Gale Network Super Tuesday Super Show. What's up, Nintex 2 Dope? Hello, Pokemon Fan 34. Hello, Charlie Smith. Future Game Showcase might show some previous game trailer last few weeks ago. May see new trailer or demo. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some new demos sooner or later. Then Texture Dope, Wolverine looks kinda been there, done that. Only Wolverine I liked was on NES. I have that Wolverine game actually. I have both Werewolf the Last Warrior for the NES and the Wolverine game for NES. Kind of cool. I like that old Wolverine game for NES. It was tough. It was pretty hard. A lot of those NES games were kind of tough, man. Yeah. Castlevania, Frankenstein. I'm thinking back to some of my NES cartridges that Battletoads, that I had a really good time with. Oh, Steak 1024's in the house with a nice Paul Mario emoji drop. I am one of those people who doesn't care for rated M games. See, so when I was listing off a couple of different examples as to why somebody may or may not be interested in the Wolverine game, one of those was, maybe not into rated M titles. Retro Guy, welcome, saying, I can't wait for the new Wolverine game. Yeah. That's probably what these notifications are on X. Yeah. Wolverine related, or Hollow Knight, or Pokemon 30th anniversary. Okay, we got some fun stuff going. Let me refresh this. Did put up a couple of new shorts today. Got this one that went up this morning. February 20th. Today in gaming history. Whoa, YouTube. When I click a button, come on. Push play on what I clicked. February 24th. 3 days until the 30th anniversary celebration of Pokemon. Pokemon Presents. 3 days, folks. You know that we're 3 days away from the Pokemon 30th anniversary? How cool is that? Pokemon used to be new. Pokemon used to be this thing's been out for a few years, but it sure got big to, dang, Pokemon's like 10 years old. Wow. Huh. That was a teenage kind of thing for me, and now I'm a young adult 10 years later. 20 years? 30 years? Whoa. 30 years. Having been there from the beginning, watching the animated series, getting excited for the games to come over, and finding out what is Pocket Monsters from Electronic Gaming Monthly and Nintendo Power and stuff like that from, back in the mid to late 90s. playing the games, seeing that here I am in high school. In high school, Game Boy is already like 9 years old, man. And you've got folks with Game Boy Pockets, Game Boy Colors, this revitalization. Taco Bell had this promotion with this ice blue Game Boy Pocket. You had GoldenEye 007 having a Game Boy version because the Nintendo 64 version was so popular. And then Pokemon, gosh, just blew things up with red and blue. And then, gold and crystal, or sorry, silver and gold. Yeah, gold and silver. And Pokemon yellow and crystal. And like, man, just here we are 30 years later. And we're on the verge of a Gen 10 game. We waited 2 years between Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon to Sword and Shield. We waited 3 years from Sword and Shield to Scarlet and Violet. Now it's 4 years from Scarlet and Violet to these two new Pokemon games. So this is the longest gap in a little while, right? I'm pretty hyped. Who plans to get Trails in the Sky, second chapter, Golden Wings edition? I don't know if I plan on it. But cool if you are. Can't get here soon enough? Yeah, YouTube Shorts work odd on the web browser sometimes. True. I need those Pokemon NSO games. Yeah, I think they're pretty fair for releasing this Friday, right? At least they get showed at the Presents. One of them surely has got to drop, right? Come on now. By March 31st, one or both are probably out. Pokemon Pokopia. True. Another one. You pre-ordered Pokemon Pokopia. Cool. Funny enough, I got into the anime first, then the games, but mainly the N64 and GameCube ones, yeah. It was like 2006 or 7. I got Fire Red for GBA. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's 20 years. I mean, I think it came out in 2006. I got into the anime, then the games. Wait, GoldenEye on Game Boy? What universe is this? Yeah. There was a GoldenEye for Game Boy. Yeah. Or it wasn't called GoldenEye. It was called James Bond 007. Yeah. Because my friend bought it. It was totally capitalizing on the hype that was the 1997 hit GoldenEye 007. It was pretty fun. Nothing beat GoldenEye, though. I'm excited to see what they show us at the Treehouse, yeah. I'm definitely curious to see what they do with Gen 10. Anybody playing Fallout 4 today like me? Ah, that's right, Charlie Smith. That's a pretty big one. I mean, it's not entirely new. Like, 10 years old, if anything? But it's a pretty big get. Still. Excited to see what they show us at the Treehouse, yeah. I'm definitely curious to see what they do with Gen 10. Retro, I was the same way. Okay, you're talking back and forth. Okay, I think I'm caught up. On the chat. By the way, we did have one more short that went up today. Another notable game. Today in gaming history, February 24th, 2017, Hollow Knight launched for the PC via Steam worldwide. Today in gaming... Yeah, Hollow Knight anniversary. Everybody's up on Silk Song right now, but the old Hollow Knight, the first Hollow Knight, it's already been out for quite a while. You know what? It just hit me. Something just hit me. I'm going to ask/show you all something. Let me see if this could work.
Rarely does something like this work, but
It's the Yarber
it might
family of
work today.
PBS Kids.
Big smile.
Phoebe, her brother Jay.
Go Bulbasaur!
Okay, everybody. I have an important thing to show you, share with you, ask, I suppose, too. Yeah. Okay. Rarely does something like this work. When you have an older video that it's had its run, its time has come and gone. It either did really well but wasn't evergreen, so it's just there doing its thing now, or it's really well done, made, is evergreen, and continues to just do very well every month. Or it flopped and there is no chance of it coming back. But there is a chance that something old that didn't necessarily catch on like wildfire has a second chance. Since it is the Pokemon 30th anniversary, I wonder if I could bring a little bit of new attention to this not too old, but older video. So it is the Pokemon 30th anniversary celebration, voice acting all 151 original Pokemon. We've got 20 people watching now. Can we get this thing to get 60 hypes right now? I put it in the chat as a pinned comment. Could we get this just 23 new views, 69 new hypes? I say 23 views because we've got 23 people in here right now. So that would be 23 views, 23 new likes, and 69 new hypes because each person is able to do 3 hypes. Is this possible? Would that be enough to make a little dent to get this thing, which by the way is at 178 views? There are many shorts that do far better than this video. This video, I thought, is kind of like the ultimate definition of evergreen content. People will always be looking for Pokemon, right? People will always be curious how the original 151 sounded, right? It's all video, so video is hypeable. It's not a short, which is not hypeable. Although, I don't know if you could hype on smartphones only, or you could hype on desktop. So there is that. But if you do have any hype points left over, I'd really appreciate it. Let's see. How do I sound, by the way? Published to Loudboys 411. You say have a slight echo. Does the echo still sound there or not? J-Views is here, by the way, with a hey, Paul. Hey, J-Views. Wolverine, Neo 3, and Pragmata will be on the list of Game of the Year 2026. Maybe. Getting close to Mario Day? Yes, we are. Dang. 14 days. 2 weeks. Charlie Smith, you cannot hype. Interesting. Jam Powers. Hello, Paul and everyone else. We are now 2 days away from the first pitch of the first game of the first season of the Banana Ball Championship League. That's cool. Loudboys, that's better. Good now, published too. Good. Washland, good evening. Echo is gone. Good. Nope, sounds good now. Awesome. First I sounded weird, now regular. Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes, though this speaker is really good, I mean, mostly quite good, I think.
Sometimes it does some little weird, evidently like a robotic kind of thing or a robotic-y or I don't know, echoey. But if we're cool now, we're cool. By the way, I did change the gifted memberships temporarily, going from brown belt back to white belt, because I know that we can handle it again. I looked at how many new subscribers we got. I looked at the total members going from 555 to 534. So I know at the very least this page is capable of 555. So I think we're good for now. I'm not saying it's capable of like 600 or something. I really don't know. I wish more people had their thing turned on. It still is weird for me to think that, like, really, out of the 8,645 people, there are about 8,100 out there that watch the channel that don't have the gifted memberships turned on. I don't know. Apparently, it's also a thing like you may have to turn on the ability to receive gifts per channel, not just an overall thing. So, yeah, that might be too. That might be it too. I don't know. Can't believe bring back Kina Spirit. Yeah, the new Kina looks good. Is it an on by default? No, published to. It's not. So its default setting is set to off. We've looked up before too how to turn on receiving gifted memberships. I know JM Powers 83, for instance, we played that video for him before. And some other people, I think, if I'm not mistaken, were in that same boat of like, how do I activate this? Let's see. 178 views. How many are we at now? Still 178. We've got Ash right here, by the way. Shoutouts to Ash. He was playing some Pokemon Legends ZA last night. Also, Roger Enyart and Tabby Cat Games, they were on a podcast together last night. So that was also cool to see. What else is going on in the X sphere? Twitter sphere was more rolling off the tongue, more natural. I know it's X now, but X sphere. X sphere. Twitter sphere. I think Twitter sphere sounded better than X sphere. Let's go check out what's on Twitter. Let's go check out what's on X. Whatever. That's about the same. One thing that's weird is, let's look up any posts on X. Are they called posts? Tweets. Let's look up any tweets on Twitter. What do people have to tweet out? It became like a word, it became a new thing that you identified specifically with Twitter, which was tweets. Twitter, tweet. You didn't look up Instagram for what people tweeted out. No. You didn't look up on TikTok or Facebook. Let me see what my friends tweeted this morning. No, what my friends wrote. Right? So I still think tweet is somewhat identifiable with X, but they're not tweets anymore. I think they're just called posts or something. But it's like WWE. I grew up WWF. It's very hard to switch from WWF, something that you liked, loved as a kid, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, ooh yeah, Macho Man, Randy Savage. And then The Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Going from 80s wrestling to 90s wrestling. Right up until like early 2000s, the scratched logo as the Attitude Era logo of the WWF upgraded over the old blocky classic WWF logo, from 80s and such. The belt changing. And then going to this WWE, they had a fun campaign, get the F out, and they cut off the F. And like they had, this whole bush shaped into like the WWF, and then they get the F out, and they cut it off with Hedger, and that was kind of fun and catchy. But man, the letter E wasn't incorporated into the logo. E felt like an insult to say over F, WWF, WWE. It didn't roll off the tongue well. But so many years go by later, you sometimes say WWF, even though you know it's WWE. When you talk in a setting, you say E. In your mind, you say F. Or maybe you say E sometimes out loud. But then you realize, like, so much time has gone by that it's not proper, because it's been so long that a whole new generation, couple of generations of fans have come and gone, that it's known to them as history their entire lives. All of the last 23 years have been WWE. It's what they've grown up as. So they don't have this sentimental nature to it. And X is going to be like this, where, yeah, it's still only a couple of years old, but 8 years from now, 10 years from now, when X has been around for that amount of time, and you're going to have a new generation of people who are 18 then, that, from the age of 8 to 18 have only known it as X, or not that they should be on X necessarily at the age of 8, but you know what I mean? Like, no, like, why are some people calling it Twitter? What are you doing? Okay, so it was called that, like, back in the early 2020s and like the late 20 teens, but why are you still, what do you mean? It's X, dude. You've got Instagram, TikTok, and X, and whatever else is going to be the new popular thing, 10 years from now. So are you going to be improper a decade from now when it's further removed? Which is the still calling something by its old name. What do you do in a professional setting? In your mind, you might have a bias. In your heart, you might have a bias. But if you're talking in a professional setting, leading a class, having proper discourse, addressing a company at a meeting, or talking on the phone with somebody from an agency. Most people probably don't have to deal with this. Most people aren't like, well, in a sense, what if you're, at McDonald's and you are told every day, hello, thank you and welcome to McDonald's. Are you checking in with our app today? Thank you, pull up to the next window. Hi, here's your order. By the way, if you don't mind, give us a follow on X at McDonald's and register to win a free Big Mac. If you have to follow the script, are you going to say, follow us on Twitter? Twitter doesn't exist now. So more so in 5-10 years. So yeah, it's something that I think about a lot, because the whole Twitter and X change now, for me, was my WWF to WWE thing, Or at a time it was Ultra 64, and then, oh no, it's just going to be called Nintendo 64, not Ultra 64 anymore. Now, at least that changed enough time before the system came out, but yeah, even then you had to stop saying Ultra 64 and you had to start calling it its proper name, Nintendo 64. If you want to abbreviate accurately the Nintendo GameCube in North America, it's GCN. It's not NGC. NGC is what Nintendo GameCube is shortened down to in Japan. But in North America, it's GCN. So if you are a resident of the United States typing out Nintendo GameCube and abbreviating it, you should properly do GCN. Or are you stubbornly doing NGC because you like it better? You know, we all have our little hang-ups. We all have it. If you are a Nintendo employee, you are supposed to say The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You don't talk about it in a professional setting as, yeah, BOT dub, or Breath of the Wild, or Zelda, or Wild, or Breath of Wild. No. That's disrespectful. That's not giving the proper commitment to the product. All Nintendo employees in their tenure, no, you say the whole name of the title. Yes, so, you know, here I am today playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for the Nintendo Switch. Not, here I'm playing Breath of the Wild for Switch. No, you don't say for Switch. You say for the Nintendo Switch. You don't call it the Wiimote. No, it's called the Wii Remote. You say it by its proper name. Anyways. Woo, that's a big old tangent because I know what it's like for folks. I was told I had to delete my YouTube account to activate that. JM Powers 83, what if you made an identical new YouTube account and you rolled with both? Just use a different email, sign up, make a brand new YouTube account, call it JM Powers 83 or JM _ Powers 83 or JM Powers 83 exclamation mark or something like that. And that way you could have a second account, and that one might be the one that is usable for receiving gifts and stuff. That's a possibility. Charlie Smith, I activated it one time and it works for every channel. That's what I like to hear. That's making it easy for folks. JM Powers, I still call it Twitter because I refuse to call it what Elon Musk calls it. I will always call it Twitter. Tracy J. WWE is still weird to me, Egomaniac. Yeah, and it's been like 20 years, right? I call it the bird. Pokemon fan says yes, Joycey. No one ever confused World Wildlife Foundation with the World Wrestling Federation, making them change WWF was annoying. Yeah, that was like a, man, you really had to stick it to the World Wrestling Federation, World Wildlife Foundation. You really had to. Man, I always loved Macho Man. Yeah, when they switched to the E, the logo looked so weird. Sup, when did this stream start? No notification from YouTube. When did it start? You probably asked that a little bit ago. Like 15 minutes ago. WWE used to be good when it was WWF. And Paul, they've been WWE longer than in WWF. Yeah, I'm like, that's another point. JM Power said it. So at the point that they've been WWE longer than they've actually been WWF, because before WWF they used to be WWWF, but that generation is so far removed that I have never heard anyone say, I refuse to call it the WWF. I'm only calling it the WWWF. Right? But maybe those people exist. That's just before my time. So at this point, they've been longer this than that. So what happens when X has been out longer as X than it has been Twitter? 20 years from now, are people just going to look weird or ancient or off their rocker for still calling it Twitter? Do people that call it WWF today look weird or off the rocker? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's a funny thing. Folks are funny. We're all interesting creatures. And to this day, I still call Twitter LOL. X hasn't caught on with me yet, JViews. And I'll still call it Twitter. Crazy Scott says it's Twix. Twix is kind of fun. I'll make a new platform and call it Chirpy. I like that, Nintex2Dope. Chirpy. Chirpy sounds good. Welcome to Chirpy. Chirp on over. Hey, who has the hottest chirp today? Hey, I like that, Chirpy. Nintex2Dope. Chirpy. That's a cool new platform. What if they change the name of McDonald's to McNancy's or something like that? McDonald's to McNancy's. I mean, yeah, like it or not, it is what it is. If you are an art major and you are asked to draw the modern Pepsi logo, are you going to refuse to draw the changed logo because you like the classic one, which now they went back to? Or no, do you have to just draw the new logo that they had for a while? Chirp chirp. Love your shift, Paul. My shift. My shift. I don't know what that is, but thank you. I don't know. Oh, shirt? My shirt? Powerpuff Girls? Yeah, my daughter got me this for my birthday a couple years ago. I hope they are forced to say, oh, I can read it now. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Yeah! Imagine, that's, you know what, Published Tube, that's why they didn't have a direct. It's because of that game. We are proud to announce today Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Please enjoy the footage. So what did you think, developers and fans of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition? I really liked the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Imagine a treehouse with that game in it. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. Artisan James, howdy, have to go to work, so we'll be missing the treehouse. That's okay. J Views, very true when referencing specific products. I would assume everyone knows Breath of the Wild, so to give the full context, I would say The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, since Zelda is known. Yeah. I'll be watching the treehouse. Some people have decided to call it Twitter X. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Hi, Tabby Cat Games. We were just talking about your podcast last night with Roger. Nice shirt, yeah. What idiot came up with Blue Sky? Blue Sky. I mean, well, Blue Sky, I guess it's a brand new thing, so it wasn't changed from anything. If Elon can call people who like me names, I can call his platform whatever I want. If Elon can call people who look who like me, who look like me names, I can call his platform whatever I want. Oh, I didn't know that. Of like him calling people names like that. To be fair, so here's also, I don't follow a lot of like drama, gossip, celebrity stuff, in and outs of who's saying what. I'm not oblivious to what's going on. Big things, yeah, I'm aware of because they pop up in the news or in a timeline or something, but I didn't know that he called people who look like you names. And so that's why it's like, well, then I could call his platform whatever I want. And you know, like, to be fair, who cares at the end of the day what you want to call anything? You know, like, if it's not reliant on your job or some type of official public setting where it's part of your business nature to conduct and you're held by your employer to say it, like, say it whatever you want, you know, if it's not derogatory in response and it's more of a almost like a fight back of resistance or resilience because of something. That's usually how a lot of people work. That's usually, you know, fairly fair game. And if you come to think about it, if somebody disses you or disrespects you in life personally, and you still have to talk or engage with them, there's a way to do it civilly, but if you are not held to do it completely authentically, as long as you're still being just polite and civil about it, if they harmed you, you're not harming back, but you're just kind of staying your ground as like, this is my little bit of defiance in a polite way. That's understandable. That's humans. I think a lot of people, I think everyone's got a little bit of that in some way or another, you know? Yeah. Yeah. That could be the longest video game title, Caps Paranormal. It is quite up there. Uh, Alexis does. Yo, PGN, what's up, bro? What's up, Alexis? Unless if it's Alex is. Not sure. Artisan James. Thoughts on No Rest for the Wicked coming to Switch 2? Gorgeous style. I can't wait to play it. I have to look more into it. Moon Studios is calling it their Zelda. That sounds good. Did you meet Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock? But here's a good one for me. I have called him The Rock forever. Even when he was reestablishing his name for a while in Hollywood as Dwayne Johnson, I'm like, The Rock. The Rock's in Moana. Hey, Echo, play You're Welcome by The Rock. Playing You're Welcome by Dwayne Johnson. No, it's The Rock. But I respect Dwayne Johnson as his name. But I'm just so used to saying The Rock. And to be fair, I think it's quite culturally acceptable by folks, fans, peers, fellow colleagues to call Dwayne Rock or The Rock, so it's not like a resistance. I refuse to say the word name. No, I'm going to call him Rock because I like The Rock, But anyways, the question was, have I met him? No. The closest I got was in October 2000 WWF SmackDown show at the Los Angeles Staples Center. I still call the Staples Center the Staples Center. I don't know what it's called now. I think it's called Crypto Arena. Yeah, I still call it Staples Center. You see? Not out of defiance, though, but because out of super familiarity. But I get the defiance thing. If you've been hurt, I get it. But anyways, at this SmackDown, I was ringside, almost. Well, I didn't sit ringside, but I got to go up to ringside, and here was The Rock holding the belt on the turnbuckle, hand in the air. And I looked at him, and I had my Rock shirt on. I was chanting, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. And he looked down at me, gave me the eyebrow. And Rocky, Rocky. I was so loud, just 16-year-old Paul, super enthusiastic. And I took a picture of him, and I had like a really good close-up shot of The Rock. And in that photo, I either got him looking at me or out there smelling the electricity. Yeah, that was a cool night. That same night, I actually was sitting next to earlier John Cena's friend, and he was telling me about his friend John Cena that's making his debut match tonight as the prototype, and this was a non-televised match of John Cena's. So I was there for like John Cena's first match in the WWF. And sitting behind me was Michael Clark Duncan, whom I would meet many times later on in life. He sadly passed away, I think, back in 2012. Man, way too long ago. Nice guy. Big guy. But yeah. But he would later on move up from behind me to like true pure ringside behind the commentators and like have an involvement with The Rock and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. But no, I never met The Rock like in person to talk and stuff. It's cool, Paul. Good news is the internet doesn't represent the world. It represents a fragment, but not everything. Like, the good that the world has does shine through on the internet. You do see a lot of beautiful people positively uplifting others, sharing peace, spreading positive vibes, teaching others exercise, discipline, martial arts, how to read, how to improve their math skills, reading skills, everything, But the internet also does represent, sadly, a real place of toxicity that some folks don't have that they don't tolerate others, racist, condescending remarks, upside down backwards mentality, vulgar, hate, unfortunately has that too. There's a vocal minority that speaks out about anti this game, anti that game, boycott this, boycott that. That doesn't really apply to what the vast majority is, though. So sometimes you could say in a case like that, the internet doesn't really represent the world because it's just a vocal minority. But there are some unfortunate truths that the internet does take on this is kind of like a microcosm of what the world is, but also a beautiful thing too of what the world is. You know what I mean? Like, you have lots of great folks on the internet that do represent real, actual positivity around the globe, There's a lot of diversity out there. CBH, what's up? J Views, well said, Paul. People will be who they are. Who are we to judge? True. Why is Vin Diesel's voice so deep? I don't know. Different people have different vocal structures based on DNA. A lot of it is just upbringing, nature, nurture, who their parents were, background, just in the genes, Names of people are different. I'll call you whatever a person wants me to call them. Yeah. I guess, with names, if I prefer, let's say Hulk Hogan did not want to be Hulk Hogan outside of WWF. Please, you see me on the streets, call me Terry Bollea. Or The Rock is telling fans, please, when you see me out on the streets, if you want my autograph, don't say, hey, The Rock, can I get an autograph? Can you please say Mr. Johnson or Dwayne? I mean, I guess to be respectful, you gotta call the person what they want. Would a mistake happen because of just this over familiarity that folks have? Yeah, but hopefully nothing that would insult folks, By the way, I'm going to continue reading some more chat, but we are going to end the stream soon. But this is a good conversation. Sometimes we go off quite different and I don't know. This has been a fun talk. I was in an elevator with John Krasinski from The Office. That's cool. And Steve Carell hosted SNL either the week before or after. That's neat. Paul, can you believe John Cena is not in the WWE Hall of Fame yet? Yeah, I could believe it. He just retired. So, maybe not yet. I know AJ Styles is going in there, but maybe it's not John's time yet, Yeah, the prototype was John Cena's name in OVW. Yep. Do you like Dominic Toretto from the Fast and Furious? Yeah, he's a cool character. Pokemon Fan 34 is back. Got Tall Show dropping some nice emojis. Let's see. Yep, took a while to customize my character, says Tall Show. Yeah. Oh, very true. That's a better way of saying it. Joycey J. I'm guessing in regards to how some people are representative and some people aren't. Some people for the good, some people for the worse. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Let's see. J Views with some nice Wolverine emojis. Very fitting today. Very fitting. Gotta love Sony's. Wow, that Blue Point news sure is disheartening to a lot of people. Quick, masking with a Wolverine release date with no new trailer. Oof, yikes. Yikes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, let's look at, by the way, the poll. Oh, wait, that's not the poll. That's the video. The poll. I will end it now. Oh, we've got a lot of votes in here. Are you excited for Wolverine this September? No, but only because it's on PS5. Alright, so that's 29%. No, because I just don't. Just don't. Yes, and I'll be buying it day one, 27%. By the way, the just don't was 17. And then yes, but I'll wait and see, 27. So it looks like 54% of the people in here are, at the end of the day, interested in the new Wolverine game. With 46% no, for one reason or another. Interesting, interesting. Alrighty. Let me check on X or Twitter. You know, one more time. Ah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's it for today's stream. I caught up on the chat. We went over Wolverine. That was kind of the main discussion today, honestly, was just to talk about Wolverine. We got good hype on that. I'm feeling good about the title. We'll have to wait and see more, though. And then we got into, like, well, some real world stuff. Why do we do the things that we do or not talk about something or address something in its proper name? And sometimes it's holding on to nostalgia. Sometimes it's for another reason because it's like, oh no, that's actually like something of a disrespectful nature in which your resistance is that. It's like a resistance. It's to be still proper, but no, I'm not gonna go there. I'm holding on to my own, uh, you know, self. All understandable. But yeah, good stream. Not too short of a stream. 51 minutes. Still great talk. Good conversation. I hope you're all doing well, by the way, Looks like you're all having a good day. Looks like most of you are looking forward to the treehouse. I don't think I'm going to be able to stream it today. No. Which I'm kind of glad that it's not a direct because I don't think I'd be able to watch the direct if it were live at like 2 o'clock. I just can't at 2 p.m. But I'll be back on tomorrow for another PGN Live, and then Thursday for another one, because we'll have our Famitsu sales data and stuff like that. And we'll have Resident Evil Requiem to go over. So Friday I'll be able to share my opinions on that. So yeah, we've got like a couple of cool things to look forward to in the week. We've got the podcast, Nin Topics podcast with Joycey and Mike on Friday. And yeah, we'll see if anything else pops up in the week. But for now, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. We had like 34 people watching live. We're at 30 right now towards the end of the stream. And in this time, we hit 25 likes. So almost everyone that was here watched it. If you don't mind, I'll just leave this as a one last little request / reminder. When this stream ends, if you don't mind going to this link, hitting that like button, dropping a comment, hyping the stream 3 times if you don't mind, if you've got nothing else to hype in the week. I don't want to take up all your hypes, but dang it, I'd like that video to do a little bit better just because it's the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, and I think voicing all 151 in the way I did it was kind of unique, I mean, I'm biased, but I think it's kind of cool. I don't know. All right. Thanks, all. Of course, now we get to 36 people watching as I'm leaving. But